Humanity's greatest strength is its community. The fact that they can band together, they can share experiences, share love, they can help one another where a person may be lacking. They can offer comfort and warmth at the most trying times. But what happens when we remove the concept of community from a person? They become isolated. They become alone. They start to view their fellow people around them as others. They start to see them as outsiders, strangers, a potential threat, a potential danger. And so when the individual is removed from the community, when they lose that warmth, that kindness, that joy, they change. Not because they necessarily want to change, but because something that is so intrinsically human has been removed from their self, it forces the change. When they are removed from the community and they are placed out into the wild, when their mind begins to poison, when they feel the hatred and fear towards those that are different rather than a connection through similarities, it changes them. When we often think about monsters, we think about scary creatures, claws, sharp teeth, chasing and hunting us. And that is a lot of what this creature is in these woods. But there's a different meaning to monster as well that we are all familiar with, that we all feel a chill from. Someone that could look just like us but do something just so terrible. Someone whose mind is so fractured that they don't even see anything wrong. If anything, they feel justified in being a monster. And this creature that we are following, this creature that we are about to encounter, is one of these monsters. They had community removed from them. The hatred crept in. The wintry ice coated their heart, and the poison seeped into every part of their being. They saw others with only hatred. They cared only for their self-preservation and their hunger. And as this hatred consumed them in the lands of Carcosa, it changed their body. Their hands grew the sharp claws we associate with monsters. The flesh fell from their face, and the skull changed to reflect the warped and twisted heart. Horns grew to scare those who would come near them, to protect them from the others, the outsiders, those who were different. And the wintry cold that coated their heart followed them wherever they went, coating the landscape and choking out the life around them so that they could truly be alone. What we are dealing with is a monster, but it is a monster because it has been removed from community. It has been removed from love. It has been removed from connection. And inside of it, it only feels a hunger and a hatred towards those who still carry such a fire in their heart. And that is what our adventurers face today. Hello everyone, welcome. We are back with Carcosa Online, the Pathfinder edition. We are ready to take on this critter. I'm sure it'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen? Let's go around this table, introduce ourselves. I will be your GM for the evening. My name is Lucas, my pronouns are he, him. Marquise.
Hello everybody, I am Marquise, sometimes known as Barty Time Online. I am he/him, playing Akihiko, the Catboy Magus, who is having feelings. Disgusting. He's also he/him.
Aubrey.
Hello, I am Aubrey. I use she/her pronouns, and I play Nisla, your local gunstigator, who suddenly is realizing she really needs to learn how to make a plan. And she also uses she/her.
And Shenye.
Hello, I'm Shenye, playing Looncross, he/him. The summoner that likes to get lost and makes time for nothing. Or something dumb.
Alright, last time our heroes had gotten together, hired some theater kids to go essentially be bait, but they still think they're going to be the stars of the show. You head on off to the guild hall. You had a large discussion with a number of other guild leaders trying to figure out what is going on. You managed to recruit 150 people, splitting them into squads of 25. And as you're all getting ready, you march down to the first floor, and Akihiko gave a rousing speech, getting everyone pumped and ready to dive into this forest. The whole area, the surrounding place, is like a summertime environment. You see, like, the heat is there, the humidity's there, but you're starting to walk towards these woods and a wintry wind hits you. And just as you're stepping in the woods, you hear the crunch of snow as you look and you see that snow is falling. This whole area, the whole southern forest, has been coated in snow. So you have a little bit of time as you're starting to march along in your group.
I think currently they're under Akihiko's distortion emitter, currently being held by Gordon, his familiar, who's just kind of like perched shoulder, holding this item kind of in the air over the group. Akihiko looks pretty graven in the face at the moment.
This is in sort of like, it's probably taking a group of mostly like ranged people, just in case. And, it's sort of like quietly doing all of the, everyone's weapons good, like final weapons checks, things like that. Looking at the map and trying her best to plan out their best route.
Is it time for me to be bait?
And they're like, no, not right now. Come on, Lou.
Everyone already knows the plan, so luckily you can't break it.
You can't find a new way for this one. I think Akihiko would just go over to Nisla. Gordon is kind of like poking him in the head as he's holding the emitter, as through gritted teeth. Nisla, what is it like to love somebody?
It feels good. It's just sort of the feeling of you enjoy being around them, you enjoy spending time with them, and kind of just What, do you think you're in love with somebody?
I don't know what it feels like.
It's kind of one of those things that just kind of like sneaks up on you. You don't like think you're in love, and then bam, one day you're in love. One day you're like at a college party, like talking to a person while petting a cat, and then a few years later you're living together.
It really just sounds like some sort of assault, like you're just being hit with a baseball bat.
Yeah, it's kind of like that sometimes, but it feels good most of the time.
Hit with a baseball bat feels good. Okay, I'll try.
Baseball bat of love.
Try and remember that in the future. Stop poking me, Gordon!
We are going to move into the skill challenge portion of this fight. The fight is being broken up for our dear listeners to know. First part is going to be a skill challenge as the group is trying to lure the Wendigo into this trap and set up the fire around it to try to weaken it and scare it. And then the second part is going to be the actual fight. So depending on how well they do, it'll be how easy this fight is going to be. So we are going to go ahead and roll initiative. So how this is going to work is the first round of the skill challenge. It is DC 16. You can use any skills or sort of like attacks, moves that you want. The only name of the game is that you cannot repeat what you've done before. And think of it, you are helping control this large contingent of people. So while you're moving through the snow, think about what you could be doing to try to get this creature to come forward, to trap them, all that kind of stuff. Be creative as you want. Also, it's fine to totally yes and the whole situation. If you say like, oh, we see this thing over here, there's a pond over here, something like that, all good. Be as creative as you feel like. So we are starting off with Nisla. How are you beginning the plan as the groups are moving forward?
We're going to start off with some stealth. You know, it's more of like we're getting into position. I'm with a group that is mostly probably range and things like that. And one of my goals is to, at some point, hit the hit it with the shining ammunition that I purchased. So we can mark it and maybe have a better idea of like where its movements are.
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna be like stealthing around and like we kind of think where it is. We're gonna try to like slowly move around behind it. And that is going to be a 24.
Your group is moving into position, and some of the others too, right? Like the groups are all starting to spread outward. Even managing to walk quietly on snow, which is a feat in itself. And we move to Loon. Loon, what are you doing to begin this operation as you see people are starting to stealth forward?
I think I'm going to do the same and stealth my group forward to a better position. I got the 17.
17?
There was a moment, Loon, where you were about to step on like this branch that would have perfectly cracked and just been so loud. And Loon 2.7 grabs your shoulder and just shakes its head as you step over it, and then you keep going. Your group as well, they're moving along now, and you're starting to move into position. And we go to Akihiko. What are you doing?
Akihiko knows that because their group isn't going to be starting this mission, stealth is less important because they don't have to go further up. So what he does, both he and Gordon just kind of take what they like their best approximation of like a prayer pose, and let the faith that they're doing the right thing, that they are not going to be scared, they're not going to choke up in the wrong moment, come through to them. And I'm going to roll with religion. I got 22.
Your groups are all moving into position. You're pumping yourselves up. You can start to hear the shake of trees now because I think the goal was you have like people who are outside of the emitters who are walking forward to look like stragglers, right? So you have these people and the trees are starting to shake. You all are moving into position. Everything seems good as the stragglers are looking a little concerned because this whole area just seems so desolate, so quiet. And we move to the next round of the skill challenge, DC 17. We are starting off with Nisla. Nisla, you see some of the trees are starting to shake a bit.
I would like to use possibly crafting in a way to start putting up torches on trees and stuff, and maybe trying to make some sort of, not necessarily barrier, but like make it less likely to run this way when it does kick off.
Right. Okay. I could see that. Sure.
Sort of create like a line of fire that doesn't set trees on fire.
Right.
Like even if it's just like we use some of the alchemist's fire like on some brush on the ground. Because that one is not one that's likely to spread too much, because it's very concentrated. Is a nat 20 for a 28.
So you setting this hall up. Your team is looking at you like, this look good. It's like you're giving them the go ahead. You have like this fire is starting to build up as you're making sure this area is looking good. You hear like the sizzling of snow as it's starting to melt a little bit in those areas. You hear this loud growl as it just reverberates throughout the whole area. What birds that were in the trees just suddenly take off. And this just really chill wind just enters, and all of you feel it in your bones as you're getting ready. Your breath hangs in the air. This frost is starting to form a little bit on your eyelashes. your eyebrows. You go to Loon. What are you doing?
I want to use deception to make some sounds to throw the creature off. Oh, I got a 12.
You're setting up these, and at first it's good. A few of them you're sounding off, but then one person is like trying to get a better look. They step outside the emitter, not realizing it. And so there's like a few of them they're starting to wander a little bit too far. And suddenly there's this voice. I will not let you leave. Oh no. And Loon, some of the people in your group, they look up quick as this giant figure just suddenly burst from one of the trees. When you all see them, they must be standing around 25 to 30 feet tall. They have this matted hide that is hanging in pieces off of this sinewy body. Their hands end in these large jagged claws. Their head is this skull, this deer skull, and these horns are coming out of it. And on the horns, you see there are impaled bodies of players. Their names are above them, flashing. They're at 0 hit points. They're dead. Their faces are stuck in screams. You can see they're still kind of squirming while they're on there. And there's just so many players hanging off these horns. Blood is dripping off of this Wendigo skull as its mouth opens up and these green flames light up in its eyes, and it rushes forward at a supernatural speed that you were not expecting. You already completed the first round, which means that the Wendigo in the fight to come will be taking a -2 to all their attacks. But a failure for the second round, 1d20 players are dying. So they move fast.
It sees you. Run!
And they start just ripping people apart. They're screaming, they're getting grabbed. A lot of them are getting impaled on these antlers. They're picking some of them up and just stabbing them on. You're watching their hit points go down, but they don't pixelate. They don't just disintegrate into nothingness. They're stuck. As this creature is moving around, it's hunting after them, collecting more and more as this chill breeze now is just... It's biting you, it's numbing your face as your heart is starting to beat faster and faster. We move to Akihiko.
Hearing that happening, I think that before Akihiko came into the game, he started looking up occult knowledge. Kind of leaned into that coming into this game, just because the idea of magic and the occult seemed really cool. He then just begins barking out orders of how to draw a monster to them, try and get the thing off of them, who have clearly been taken by surprise and are off kilter. At least his group is not, and they can prepare, knowing what is to come. So he's gonna roll with occultism.
Okay.
23 total.
So you are you're barking out these orders, you're getting people together, they're starting to make noise, trying to try to gather this creature. Fires are starting to be lit, people's torches are starting to go up, and this creature is roaring out in frustration. As we're moving on to now the third and final part of the skill challenge, the DC is 18. This creature is bellowing out, and people are getting freaked out. You see, hit points are flying off people's parties. It's like a raid, so you see everyone's little stuff is along the sides of your screen as you're watching hit points go down. Now, in this one, you need 3 successes, but only 2 failures. Make something go terribly wrong. We start off with Nisla.
Seeing this and seeing all of this start happening, I tell everybody to ready the alchemist's fire, or if they have arrows to light the arrows, and essentially we're just going to rain some fire down on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to toss an alchemist's fire at it.
Nice.
A 19.
So this thing is moving around so fast. You're all constantly moving your weapon. Even a few of your people, they let loose some shots trying to hit the creature, and it's just sinking into the snow, sizzling out. And finally, you pinpoint where this creature is going to land, and everyone just fires at that one spot. and you hit this creature. It roars out as your shining shot hits it, and it's sort of like illuminating a little bit all over it, as it's just like trying to shake this off, and it's roaring out, just pawing at people who are coming near it. And it goes to Loon. Loon, what are you going to do? A large amount of your people just got wiped.
How many troops do we have left? 14?
Yeah, 14 still, yeah.
I started grabbing people and trying to carry them to safety as the creature chases us, and... Oh no, I got a 12.
Wow.
That could have been a lot worse.
That could have been way worse.
So you're trying to move people, but the creature is so fast. They are moving in these blur-like motions, and people are scrambling, trying to get out of the way. And every time your Eidolon, it goes and it grabs the person, lifts them up, and it's almost like you lifted it up for the creature to just snatch out of the air and stab onto its antlers.
No, please, run, run!
And there's a group of like 3 people trying to run one way, and its jaw unhinges, and this icy breath goes out, and they all freeze into statues and just fall over, shattering.
I couldn't save them. That should have been me.
And it's just running everywhere, just hitting at these people. We go to Akihiko. There is 1 failure and 1 success so far.
This time, Akihiko musters the spellcasters to begin focusing in controlled bursts of fire to just begin the process of actually enclosing this trap on it. Just like very targeted bolts of flame. Clearly not trying to hit it, but very much trying to corral it towards the center for the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that is a 15 on the die, plus 7 is 22.
The fires are starting to light up. The cage has been sprung as they're all starting to go, but like, you know, it's that slow fire moving along. And so everybody's just like, you know, like, come on. It's just like hurling balls of flames, like alchemist fire, everything, as this Wendigo is still just picking off people. And it goes to Nisla.
I am going to use medicine. Essentially attempt to help some of the wounded people, patch them up, get them out of the way. I was like, what are my good skills and how can I make this work? Also, great thing about being an investigator, I really don't have a lot of bad skills. At 18 exactly.
Oh!
So you are rushing, you're dragging people back to like the barricade you made of fire, and you're quickly patching people up as the last bit of fire just like connects, creating this prison of flame. And you see like there's a number of players who decided, you know, like, we're going to be in this prison. They're stepping in. There's other like a lot lower level players are along the edges of the fire, ready to help heal, buff, shoot in weapons, and everyone is starting to move in towards the creature as you're seeing like chunks of ice are now falling off of this beast as they're hitting down into the ground and just melting as it's roaring out, and now its frame looks even more willowy as it's starting to pick up speed. And we now go into the battle itself, so everyone roll me that initiative one more time. Hey there, travelers, it's your GM Lucas here. Just wanted to catch you for the holiday seasons. So, going ahead, I had a few little announcements. We are going to be putting up the audio of the episodes at a much more regular rate. A lot of the reason why we slowed down, not only because life has been a lot lately, I'm sure for everyone, having to work quite a bit, but the video portion does slow us down considerably. So while I'm not quitting doing the video portion, I'm just going to be taking it at my own pace so that I could really enjoy it. I will be trying to release the audio on a much more regular rate, so you will be seeing episodes every month, because honestly, editing audio for me personally with my lizard brain is easy as pie. It is no problem getting that stuff out. So look forward to that, because I will make sure that we are going at a regular rate. Also, we're going to be back into regular updates on Patreon. Our TikTok stuff is going to be jump-starting in 2025. I know a lot of American people out there are having issues with that because their government is being how it usually is. So We will also be uploading all that stuff to YouTube as well as Instagram. So if you like that kind of content where we talk about TTRPGs, we make shorts, all kind of good stuff. I have a little plan for like a whole Goblin series, which is going to be a blast. So yeah, check that out. But yeah, 2025, I think we're just going to really dive into it. I've been letting a lot of things hold me back this year, and I'm tired of it. I'm just going to kind of charge forward with the stuff that I want to do, because it's important to fill your own cup. And as a creative, a part of filling my own cup is making things that I really love. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. Oh, look at me ramble. I always do. So yeah, we are going to be focusing on that, getting the audio out, Patreon updates, stuff on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So if this is the kind of thing you enjoy, by all means. I've mostly given up just using other kind of social media stuff, because I don't have the fucking energy to use things that require me to do like constant posts all the time. I don't have time for that. So yeah, if you want to follow us elsewhere. You can always email us if you have any questions. We've received a lot of really wonderful emails. We've received a lot of questions about what's going on with the series. So I made a post on Patreon answering a ton of the questions we've had coming in. I really do appreciate everybody sending in their lovely thoughts and feelings about the show, all the reviews, all the messages that we get through Spotify when people are leaving stuff on the episodes. Honestly, it really means a lot. It really, really means a lot when I see those. Warms my heart. So you want to drop a message on Spotify? Hell yeah, do it up. Anyways, I don't want to keep you for too long. I've already been rambling for 3 minutes as I'm watching my waveforms. But I just wanted to say, have a lovely holiday season. This has been a difficult year for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. And I know most of us are struggling. Honestly, if you're not rich, then you're probably struggling. And 2025 is going to be another challenging year for a lot of people. What's important is the community that we build around us. It is important to lift up those who are close to you, to create a sense of space where people can rely on one another. We've let division really push us to the breaking point for a lot of things that make us very human. So remember, at the end of the day, the only one that you're really against are the ones who are actively oppressing you. Just remember that your fellow person who's struggling alongside you, they're not your enemy. They're a part of your community. And it's important to enrich your community. All right, that's enough from me. Feeling a little melancholy today. Let's have a great 2025 regardless of what this world throws at us, and let's make sure that we make things that we truly love. All right. I wish you all a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. Until next time, dear travelers, I bid you all adieu.
Seven for me.
That will be 14 for me.
25.
The way this combat is going to work, all three of you will be participating in this fight, and think of it like everyone else is kind of like hurling spells, like helping people out, healing, all that kind of stuff. So, at the beginning of each round, you as a collective can choose what the masses do to assist you in this fight. Now, there are 3 different things that they could be doing. They can be damaging, which the number of damage they do is the number of players times 1d6 divided by 2. They can debuff, which means the Wendigo will get a further -2 to attacks and damage, and then it still does a little bit of damage as well. And then there is buff, where all of you will instead get +2, and it still does a little bit of damage as well. Number of players times 1d2 divided by 2. So we are going to start off with you all deciding what would you like the masses to do as they are getting ready.
I say that as long as it's over 100, and we currently have 132 by my count, 131,
Yeah.
that while it stays over 100, let's have them do damage. When it drops, we can then change that tactic.
To debuff. I think debuffing is very good, because I feel like this thing is going to have a really high to hit.
Yeah.
But yes, damage at first. Let's do that.
So you see, they all just start letting loose. The damage is unreal. You're watching these spells, weapons, everything. People are charging forward. Like you're seeing some people you traveled with, like Houndman is swinging this massive maul and like hitting the creature in the ankle, but it's kind of like, you know, some little kid coming up and hitting with a stick. Like it's just the proportions. This creature is gigantic. Everyone is flinging weapons and just like spells. And so the creature is taking these hits. You're watching its health bar go down. And even though it was such a monumental amount of damage, the health bar is still well in the green. And they're all just battling. And what are each of you going to do? We are starting off with Akihiko.
Akihiko begins to conjure flame in his hand. It is going to cast the Produce Flame cantrip at the creature. 14 to hit.
14 is a miss.
But with that being stated, he's going to recapture some of that flame with his third action to Arcane Cascade with fire around him. So you just kind of see now like this image of this like fiery lion over his shoulder for a moment as he just gets into a defensive stance, and fire just kind of curls around him, ready for when he gets to actually hit the thing.
And we go to Nisla.
So I am going to free action devise a stratagem, because this is part of my investigation.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 17 for my devise a stratagem. Very good.
Nice.
And I am going to pull out that water gun full of alchemist's fire and then just line it up. And as soon as I get a good shot in on it, just let loose with one of those things of alchemist's fire. So that is 24.
So it's taking double damage from this fire. Your fire hits this creature, and you see it just like burns this patch right along its side as it's just quickly like trying to put out the flames along its side as you fire the spray out and you're trying to like move along, and it just roars out in pain.
4 fire damage and 1 piercing damage from the strategic strike.
Nice.
And so for the second action, I will try it one more time. It's only going to be a 14.
14 is a miss.
But not a critical miss.
No, you're good there. You should have, and all it does is it creates this new patch of fire that now the creature has to try to avoid while it's moving around.
For the armor patch, is that one action to apply?
Yeah.
I would like to apply that, and is it just a consumable that is used up?
Yeah.
76!
Nice. All right.
Nice.
So +2 AC for 24 hours.
Cool.
So this glow happens. You see like these little, like marks are starting to appear all over these runes, and you just feel this protective energy around you.
I'm just going to add a +2 armor potency rune so I remember this.
So we go to the creature. It roars out. Now, a lot of your people are, since they have to like move and they're going out to attack, a lot more people are visible. So it's going to use one of its custom moves called Attack the Crowd. So the crowd has an AC of 17, and it has to hit, and if it does, it takes out however much damage it's doing is the amount of people that it's starting to take out. First, let's go ahead and roll D20. There's a -2 to its attack because you all succeeded in that moment. That's a 20.
Oh,
At least it's not a natural 20, everyone. It's just a dirty 20.
yeah, just a dirty 20.
You watch as 11 people are just ripped to shreds around it. Some of them are like, they run forward going to swing, and it just swats them. You watch they go flying through the air, just impaled on the branch of a tree as it's just ripping through people around it. But for how many people that it's ripping through, just so many more are joining the fight and starting to close around it. And it looks towards all of you, and you start hearing this whisper go through each of your minds. I need everyone to make me a will saving throw.
I got a 25.
Dirty 20.
24!
So you all just hear these whispers just leaking through your head, just like, talking about how as you're just shaking this off and the adrenaline is pumping, you're screaming. Even the most composed of you just find at this point you just scream. It's like you're throwing an alchemist fire, you're swinging a spell at this thing as it's just looking at each of you, and then it's going to make its final move, which is just going to be an attack. Nisla, thank goodness your AC has increased, because it's coming in for a hit. 14.
14 does not hit.
You see this giant claw coming your way as you just sort of do that quick skid as you're going along the ground, and you watch as like 2 trees above your head are completely broken in half. The claw just rakes the air, and someone else just starts firing arrows at it, and its head just like quickly snaps towards their direction as its jaw unhinges. It launches itself towards them, and then we go to Loon.
I'm also going to use my armor patch.
Nice. So roll those percentage.
I rolled a 36.
Alright, so you get +2 AC for 1 hour. Definitely this whole fight, you will have an additional +2 to your AC.
I'm going to attack the creature with my Eidolon. I got a 29.
Oh, nice. You go through and like your Eidolon is just rushing forward as it's like launching itself towards another person, goes right underneath, and you watch as its arm turns into this spring, then fires up, clips the creature right in the gut as it just kind of does a quick roll and then skids around. And you have one more action.
Okay, I'm going to attack again. I got a 19.
That's a hit.
Hey!
So the other attack comes in, and as it turns around, the creature, like, it goes to, like, it's going to bite your Eidolon, and it just punches the creature in the face as it sort of twists its head off towards the side a little bit, and then moves in closer as its eyes have lit up in this greenish flame. And it goes from Loon to Akihiko. Oh, the start of the round, actually.
Still over 100, so we want to keep doing the damage again?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah, we have 120.
Right on.
All right.
Roll 1d6. Alright, so they have been thrown off this round just because of how many people just suddenly died. They're all like a little bit scattered. Already 30 have perished from the front lines. And so they're still damaging it. Attacks are still going off, but now it's starting to fall into a rhythm as it's just starting to pick people off. It's going along. And what would you like to do, Akihiko?
Akihiko, channeling the ferocity of the fiery lion, is going to cast magic weapon on his staff, but using it as a I wish I'd remember my own abilities names. The one that allows him to cast a spell and make an attack at the same time. He twirls his weapon in his hands, catching ambient arcane energies to empower it as he strikes out. Please do something good. That is not going to hit on a 14.
You go in for this swing, but it's just too fast as your fiery staff just moves.
Cast shield on himself, giving himself +2 AC.
Good idea.
That will be his turn.
So the creature is just frustrated. So many people are still hitting it. Its hit points are definitely going down. You see that you've probably taken out a quarter of its HP so far. Go to Nisla.
I will spend my first 2 actions to reload the last of my alchemist fire into the water gun. And then I will free action devise a stratagem. That is going to be a 19.
Alrighty. Roll that fire damage.
I rolled a 5 for the fire damage, and then 6 for piercing damage.
So this creature is just roaring out pain as a new fire starts on its shoulder that it has to take the time to put out. And it's just looking at everyone else around it as it goes to swing at people, and then it's just getting interrupted as fires are starting to erupt on it. And it's seeing all these different fires, and it's driving it into this frenzy as its jaw unhinges. And it takes a few of the people off of its antlers, and it twists their body, holding its mouth open as the blood pours inside of it. It glows this bright whitish blue inside its throat, and then it unleashes this wave. I need everyone to make me a reflex saving throw.
I would like to not be hit by the blood of my friends. 26!
Hey.
Yeah, that's gonna be a 12 for me.
I got a 12.
Oh, I critical succeeded. Hey, yeah.
Nice. For those of you who failed, you take 10 cold damage as you feel it just like chill into you. And you also feel yourselves like starting to slow a little bit. You feel like if you get hit with another one of these, it's going to kind of really affect your movements. And you see it's also hitting a lot of the other people. Then the creature is just going in for another swing on the crowd, but is 21, baby.
Showed them potato salad.
Takes these hands and it's just grabbing people, hurling some of them, ripping some of them in half. It's placing a few back onto its antlers where it was missing people. And the people on the antlers are starting to let out this chorus of screams that it's just starting to unnerve all of you as you're finding your hands are shaking, your heart is just going. And we are down. There are 108 players left, including all of you. You're watching just people get flung around. And it goes to Loon.
I cast Lifelink Surge and heal my Eidolon for 4 HP.
So your magic is flowing through, and you see like your Loon 2.8 is out there, just getting healed up and getting ready to just go toe-to-toe with this thing again.
I then have Loon 2.0 punch the creature. I got 14.
You healed up, but as you're moving through, it's just like there's this fresh coat of ice all over everything. And so it's kind of slipping up a little bit as it tries to go and throw this punch. Its arm extends, but it just goes short of this creature's face, where the arm comes ripping right back. And we go from Loon back to Akihiko. So this creature, it is looking just enraged. You see, like its health bar is now like yellow instead of being green, as it's just tearing at people.
Well, we have 108, so damage again.
Hey, that's a lot better. Everyone just gets reinvigorated. And you watch its hit points go past the halfway point as now it is just getting brought down, and it's taking these hits, falling backwards. You see like some people, even the spear goes and it goes flying and it hits one of the people that are on the antlers and they just explode. Like these digital little pixels, just releasing them from this torment. And just all these hits are hitting this creature as it's roaring out in pain. You go, so Akihiko, what are you doing?
Akihiko pulls out the Mask of the Chimera that we got from the sub-boss battle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much damage it does, but I would like to do the fire breath weapon.
I forgot that was a fire breath. Yes, nice. And actually, the breath weapon, 2d6, you can change that dragon head, though. It doesn't just have to be fire when you're using it. I got a 20, so it'll just take whatever you roll for the 2d6 instead of doubling it.
10 points of fire damage.
All right, so you put this mask on, and you feel it shift, like each of the faces, and then it goes to the dragon one, and these flames just erupt, catching it.
And with that, he kind of like twists the mask off to be like kind of sitting on his side, on the side of his face, as he's just going to go in to try and strike it. That will be an 18 to hit.
All right, that hits.
Bonk, go to cryptid jail.
10 bludgeoning damage and 2 fire damage.
All right, so you smack this creature in the leg as it's now full attention on you, realizing that there's somebody who can breathe fire at it. Not a fan.
I did not realize. I forgot about. Oh, hey everybody!
And it goes to Nisla.
I have one more Alchemist Fire left. So first, free action, devise a stratagem, an 18.
All right.
So I will shoot it one last time with my last Alchemist's Fire. So it'll be 3 fire damage, 2 piercing damage. And then another free action to drop the water gun because it is empty and I have nothing else to put into it. Second action, pull out my regular gun and shoot again.
Alrighty.
Does it do like the really cool thing where it's like all in one movement?
Is that Bayonetta from the very beginning of the game? She's like, guns!
guns. 16?
16 is a miss.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You fire this gun off, and it just sort of ricochets off its skull as it is looking still at Akihiko. And it goes to this creature's turn.
Hey, buddy.
So you see what it does is it takes one of its own fingers and it rips it off completely. You see, like, there's a little bit of blood that splatters down, but the blood is like coagulated. It's thick as it's just sort of splattered. And it takes its finger and it jams it into the ground. And suddenly the ground starts trembling and starts erupting as these claws start just like bursting out of the ground heading towards people. I need everyone to make me a reflex saving throw. Is a DC 16.
I got a 17.
Got a 17.
Got an 18.
So you're all just taking half damage on this one. So, oh my god,
Hey.
whatever.
Love that. Love that.
It's just grazing you as you're all moving out of the way. But you do see there are a number of other people who were in this area. They're getting hit. So you see that there's a few that get pierced with them as they're just like lifted up into the air. But most people are managing to get out of the way. They're getting hurt, but you know, like it's not really killing a lot of people. Then the creature from there takes a few more bodies and it's just squeezing them above its head, and it's not even letting the blood like go into its mouth. It's just like anointing itself with the blood of these adventurers as they're just pixelating and shattering in its hands, as then it breathes out this icy breath. Everyone, one more reflex.
17.
18.
Oh, I got a 12.
Oh no, Loon. So Loon, you are taking 6 points of cold damage as you feel like it sinks into you, but you start feeling yourself slowing, as now instead of having 3 actions, you have 2. But you see a lot of other people are also getting hit with this, and they're starting to like really slow down, as there's some that are like freezing completely up. They're turning into sculptures. Say just like another 6 people are just like frozen as they've just died. So it's just going to attack the crowd.
Okay, great.
You're all fine.
Catboy is safe for a little longer.
But it misses.
Just missed.
By 1. So it's trying to hit people, and it's too distracted, and it's heavily wounded as it goes to Loon.
Okay, Loon 2.0, we got this. I strike the creature twice.
So you strike for 15 and 10. Those are both misses. So your Loon 2.7 is just running slowly as it's trying to just shoot off these these spring arms that are barely, like the first one just barely misses, the second one is quite off as it's just not fast enough at the moment. And you yourself, you're shivering as you're trying to command everything around. And we go to the beginning. So we are looking at 99 people still standing. What would you like to do with them? The creature is a little below half health. You can have them attack, or you can have them start doing other things.
Or do we want them to buff us?
I mean, buffing us is probably a little bit better than
Debuffing.
it. So I think buffing us and doing the damage now is probably the better idea.
Okay. The creature is then taking, so like the 99 people are still just flinging spells, hurling stuff, but most of their effects are starting to focus on everyone who's like in this fight. So all like the people who are in the ring of fire start getting hit with these buffs. So you're getting a +2 as you're watching. This creature's health now is at just about a third left. And it goes to Akihiko.
Akihiko, feeling the empowerment of the people, is going to spend an action recharging his spell strike to Burning Hands spell strike this son of a bitch.
There you go.
Oh my gibbly gosh. That is a 29 to hit.
Shit. Okay. Got yourself critical. And this is fire, so we're doubling all that shit at the end.
He does get a dex save against the Burning Hands.
All right, I got a 15, so go ahead and roll that damage.
Too bad we're not like 5th level and you can't just drop a fireball on him.
Yeah, everyone just starts launching fireballs.
33 points of bludgeoning damage plus 4 points of fire damage just from the hit alone. And then on the Burning Hands, he is going to take 8 points of fire damage.
So this creature roars out. You just did a devastating hit on it as it's like sort of takes a step back. People on its head are all screaming as it's like shaking its head and trying to move around. You know, you're doing the come hither to the creature as it's looking at you and it's looking woozy as there's so many people around it distracting it. It goes from Akihiko to Nisla.
I am going to spend first action reload the gun. Action devise stratagem. That will be a 26.
All right.
Oh, just under.
Just under. I was like, math in head, please be close. 11 damage.
All right, so you fire off this creature. It goes right through its shoulders. You're watching this blast from the other side as it's really taking so many hits. Its one hand is now missing a finger. This blood is pooling out onto the ground. It's heavily breathing as its eyes are just lit up in these flames.
I have one more action, and because I'm at half health, I'm going to battle medicine myself.
There, because it's about to do something nasty.
Yep.
Oh dear. It doesn't have to.
It's a cornered creature.
And that is a 20 exactly.
So you are patching yourselves up as you're looking up at this creature, and it's going on all fours now, as it's sort of like pawing at the ground a little bit, getting ready, as it's starting to charge towards everyone. It aligns itself so that it could just kind of stampede through everyone there. And I need everyone to make me the reflex is the name of the game, everyone.
Nat 20.
Dirty 20.
18 on the die.
Right, so you're all taking half damage. So you all take 7 points of damage. As you're managing to get out of the way. Loon, you don't have to worry. You crit, though you just kind of go into a little ball as it just goes right over you. Yeah, you're watching people just get stabbed, get hit, get clawed, as it's just rushing past. And you see it takes out a number of people. Now, I have a little list of important individuals, as we are now hitting a very dangerous number.
Oh no! Oh no!
Not Dan Dan Noodles.
Dan Dan Noodles is on the list. I will not lie.
Jesus Christ.
Please be someone we don't like.
Oh, this is someone you've met, like, near the beginning.
Oh no!
What? What's that mean?
Oh no!
Here's what happens.
Was it the mayor?
No, the mayor's fine. Take more than this to kill the mayor. You're all running out of the way, and at the last minute, Akihiko, your foot is slipping on the ice. And you're seeing this horn is coming right towards you. Suddenly, something jumps through the air and body checks you. And you go skidding onto the ground. You get kind of hit by one of the claws as it's running by, and you watch as this horn just pierces through Houndman.
Oh no!
Lifting them off the air, their maul hits the ground. They scream in pain, trying to pull themselves up as you watch their health bar go down. They make eye contact with you, Akihiko. And then they just give you, like, they have this crazed look on their face, smiling, blood pouring out of their mouth, giving you this thumbs up as they just sort of collapse back onto the antler.
Akihiko just, like, screams, just heartbroken.
We hit down to 84 people left in this fight.
Oh, God.
The creature is currently at a little bit less than a third of its hit points.
Jesus.
It then uses its move. Everyone make a will saving throw.
Oh my god.
DC 17.
Yeah, I get hit.
21.
28.
The two of you are holding steadfast, but Akihiko, that was too much. You just saw that happen to probably the person you thought was gonna live through this whole thing. Gonna be just crazy the whole way through.
Yeah.
And you get hit with this fear. You take a level of fear, and it just, you feel your body shaking. You feel your mind being like, fucking run, 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 run. We don't need to be here, as it's starting to slowly grip you. And the creature, you can hear it in its head saying that you are next. Go afraid, I will find you wherever you run. It puts all as you're just slowly starting to crab walk away. And it goes to Loon.
My Eidolon is going to run up to the monster and punch it. I got a 15 and a 19.
19's a hit.
10 damage.
All right, so 10 damage. So your Eidolon goes in for one hit, barely misses, and the next one just clubs this thing on the side of the face as it's just going, toe to toe, just swinging, and it just snaps its head to the side again as you see like a piece of its skull just goes flying off to the side. And now, what would you like the masses to do?
Buff again?
Yeah, buff.
Oh, wait. That would have hit then. The first loon would have gotten a 17.
Oh, that's true.
Because it would have had a +2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll add that damage on again. You all feel these buffs go through as you're all like picking yourselves back up and you're getting ready to fight this thing. More attacks are just flying, hitting this creature, and you see it has probably about 20% of its health left. As its health bar is in the red, it's just weaving back and forth, getting ready to strike at all of you. Its mouth is just like chattering, all these little sounds are going through your heads. And Akihiko, what are you going to do?
At first, I think, like, Akihiko is just kind of there, like, in that crab position, terrified, hearing that voice, like, compounding on top of his own, like, mother's voice in his head of just, like, how worthless he is, how weak he is, how not enough he is. And out jumps from his kimono sleeve Gordon, who just kind of, like, stands there, like, staring at the thing, his little cape glowing with the sword and the shield, and he's like, I can't leave, and just, like, looks around and sees Nisla, and sees Loon, and maybe sees Melvin, and maybe sees a few of the other people who's like, I don't want these people to die. I don't want to die, but I don't want to see them dying either, so he's going to stand up, and he's going to recharge his spell strike. Mm-hmm. And he is going to spell strike again with Produce Flame this time. That is a 27 to hit.
There you go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Roll that damage.
29 bludgeoning plus 4 fire damage from the hit alone. And then on Produce Flame itself, it is 12 points of fire damage. And it will take 1d4 persistent damage on its turn.
Nice. Remember, that will be doubled because it will be fire. So you just smack the shit out of this creature again.
His staff is just kind of whirling with all the flame around him, through him. And it's funny, because now that you can see Gordon, he's actually mirroring what Akihiko does with a little stick in his own hand.
Nice. So you're there, you're breathing heavy, a little bit of blood as you're getting ready, and it goes to Nisla.
So, first action, I'm going to reload, and then free action, devise a stratagem. 28.
28. That is a critical.
Nice big anime moment. Holding out the pistol while I'm doing it. I'm just like, oh god, Fable, I hope you're proud of me. 12 damage. I rolled another 7 damage.
So you fire this off, and maybe Fable's like in a coffee shop, just have to make a coffee. As you're firing this off, people are screaming, everything is chaos, just the contrast of these two moments. And so what are you doing with your other actions as you sort of just jump out of the way this creature is moving around?
Do any of my friends look incredibly injured?
I am at almost half health.
I'm okay for hit points.
Then I will spend my last action to do some battle medicine on Akihiko. You'll heal back 18.
18. That does bring me back to full. Oh, at the top of its turn, it takes...
Oh, yeah.
6 points of fire damage.
You feel this invigoration coming through as the two of you are looking over, and the creature once more is charging through. Everyone making a reflex saving throw.
18.
Oh no, that's an 8.
That's a 1.
Ooh.
Oh, no! Oh, babe.
It's 10 points of damage. I rolled 2 1s and a 2. Come on. You get just like this slice goes across as it charges past, And Loon, it hits you as well. This time you try going to a ball again because it worked the first time, but a hand just slams down onto you as you just feel yourself pushed into the earth. As it's running forward, it skids, turns around as this frost just emanates from it, and it's going to hit everyone all again. So go ahead and roll that reflex saving throw.
I take the double, right?
Oh, you failed. So
Because critical failed.
I critically failed, so I'm unconscious.
Oh no.
Because I have 19 health right now.
That is just 10 for me.
15 for me.
Lovely. Blinded, dying, flat-footed, unconscious. All great things.
this one is 2d6, so it's 9 points of damage. So you feel this frost just hit over, and it goes right over Nisla as Nisla is just sort of like laying there. Arm sort of broken off to the side, just laying rough looking, and the creature blood is pouring out of it. It looks terrible. And Loon, it goes to you.
Do I have any potions?
You should have a lot of healing potions if you want.
At least a healing potion. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I drink the potion and heal for 7.
All right, so you heal for 7 as you just chug this potion as fast as you can.
Alright, now Loon 2.0 is going in to swing. I got a 28.
So it is a critical.
16 points of damage.
All right, so this creature just gets hit a ton of like attacks as it's going through, but then Loon, your Eidolon just lines up a punch and hits it, and it just like skids on its side as it's going along, and it's starting to get back up. You have one more action. What do you want to do?
We're going to punch again. Nat 20.
Shit!
Natural 20.
It hits down onto the ground, and it thinks it's fine. Your Eidolon grabs it by one of its legs and starts pulling it backwards. It turns around and just clocks it again in the face, just knocking it down. A few of its teeth go out as it's just trying to get up. And at the top of the round, even like with all the people attacking, like everyone just converges on this downed creature and just starts hacking and screaming as you look, and there's only 50 people remaining as they're just hacking down it in this fervor. 100 dead players. As you're all screaming, you find yourself there, Akihiko. You're just hitting it again and again and again with your staff as like blood is splattering onto you. The bodies of the people on top that were on the horn start just shattering and pixelating as you all are sitting there, fear in your eyes. Somebody's like pouring a healing potion. You suddenly sit up like so you're looking at everyone, and suddenly flaring across the screen, Floor 1 boss defeated.
Thank God.